Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyman Prepping. How's everybody doing? Everybody have a great weekend, have some time to do some preps, have some fun, do some stuff with the family. Hopefully you got all that taken care of. New week started, new stories to talk about. As you know, I like to hit some current events, give you my thoughts on them, see where we're going, what we need to think about. So that's what I'm gonna get started doing it. So let's get right into it. And as everybody knows, we are hearing that Fauci is in front of Congress now on Capitol Hill, talking about the COVID-19 and what he did or didn't know. It's a big show going right now. Mainstream media is loving this right now. They're putting it everywhere. The Democrats are apologizing to Fauci that he has to be there, and the GOP is grilling him. But you know what? Nothing's going to come out of this. They're not going to arrest him. He's not going to jail. That's just my opinion. Could it happen? Sure. I just don't think it ever will. The GOP just doesn't have the guts to do it. They're not going to arrest him. They're not like the Democrats where they make up charges to put Trump in jail, to take him to court in a very liberal area where there's liberal judges and liberal jurors, and they convict him on some trumped up charges, basically. So will the GOP do that to Fauci? They don't even need Trump. They got real charges. He did lie about COVID. He did make up, all the standards. He did cause the deaths of, lots of people. That's what the word is going around. That's what he's accused of. Could they convict him? Probably they could. Are you going to get a GOP attorney general to take him in and do that? I don't think so. I just don't think they have the guts to do it. It's just not what the GOP has ever done. And they just rather be in power, be the part of the elite group and not really rock the boat too much. So a lot of show going on. I don't think anything comes of this. I know some people have their hopes up that, Fauci's going to jail. This is it. Don't get your hopes up. I think this is just, hopefully they put this out there and they're hoping to calm people down. Just like the people out there that say, we're going to vote our way out of this. We're going to vote Trump in there. It's going to change everything. He's going to disclose, Kennedy assassinations, 9/11, all that. Well, he could have done before. He was president. Did he do some good stuff? Yeah. But you know what? He was stonewalled by the Democrats for sure and the GOP, everywhere from bills to legally and everything. The GOP didn't back him. Could have killed Obamacare. They didn't. You had John McCain with the big thumbs down and all that going on. So we're not voting our way out of this. And by the way, Trump made some horrible personnel decisions. He put some people in positions that really backfired on him. It happened more often than not. So, I don't know who was advising him or if he just went off, the seat of his pants and made those decisions. But my opinion is you're not voting your way out of it. Some people, some very prominent people on this platform and have radio shows and everything say, well, you need to start locally. Get your education board, your school board fixed. Then the mayor, then your city council, then work up to your sheriff, then go for the state. And that's how the Democrats did it, and that's not a lie. That's how they did it. But they took them 40, 50 years. Do you think the country has 40, 50 years to have conservatives or GOP or Republicans vote their way to fix everything? I don't think there's any chance of that happening. There's such a grip on it now, such a fix to the voting and counting that in 40, 50 years, you're not going to vote your way to fix it. Fixing the school board and your sheriff helps maybe a little, but are you going to fix the big issues? No. You're just not. That's not happening. And I see that as a defeatist mentality. So that's my rant on that. You're not voting. Am I going to vote still? Sure, I'll vote American Duty vote. I think everybody should vote. It might help in the short term. You might get some people to help a little bit, but once they get in there, just like the Speaker of the House, he was staunch conservative, staunch, holding up values. And then what happens? He bows down to the Democrats, GOP, giving all kinds of money to Ukraine, backtracking everything. So, they can get to everybody. So voting your way out isn't going to happen. Something much bigger is going to happen. So moving on from that, let's talk about some other things that are happening that I find quite interesting. And this is one over here. I find this very interesting. 700 balloons or so later, North Korea, is sending basically trash and poop balloons over to South Korea. And so they're going to stop sending them as long as South Korea stops sending propaganda pamphlets over the border. Now, I don't think it's that simple. This isn't like, King Johnny-Il, North Korea is a fraternity, and South Korea is another fraternity, and they're playing, fraternity pranks on each other, just sending, poop bags and poop balloons over the fence, and laughing about it. They're not doing a sophomoric prank here. I think there's something else behind this. And you can write down below what you think. While you write down below, hit that like, share, comment, all that great YouTube stuff. Really appreciate it. But I think this is a trial run, for biowarfare. What else can you put in the, if they're putting, feces and sewer stuff in there. Well, you can put a lot of biological contaminants in there. You can put the next pandemic in there. You can put all kinds of stuff in there and just let it float over, hit the ground. The animals pick it up, people pick it up filtering through there, even the people from the military pick it up. So I don't think this is just a prank, basically. I think this is something to see what they can get over, what the air patterns are like, how deep can they get them, and what can they transport. So we got to keep our eye on this. I just don't think it's a harmless little prank. What do you guys think? Right below what you guys think as well. On from that, we'll just talk about this. The prospects of peaceful reunification with Taiwan have eroded, said, Beijing's, the Chinese defense chief was saying. He says that, war in Taipei, capital of Taiwan, is being dragged into a dangerous situation. That's true. It's getting closer and closer. News stories are coming out that China's kind of apprehensive. I wouldn't say afraid. I wouldn't say the Chinese are ever afraid. But, if Trump does get elected, what's that mean for them? Does he come out strong against them? Does he really support it? So thus, do they make a move before Trump gets back? Because they have a known quantity in Biden. They might have known leverage on Biden in that administration. So maybe it's time to go before the elections. And speaking of that, before the elections, who here thinks we make it to an election? Do we think is November are we going to have elections in November? Does Trump make it to the election? He's got the sense, will he be in jail? Will he be taking a dirt nap? What'll happen? Do we even have it? So that's something else to talk about. But China might make their move before, the elections. And, they do that, all hell breaks. So, no more cheap junk from China, no more trade routes, all that stuff that you find so easy to get off Amazon or Walmart or whatever. That's not happening. So you need to start thinking about what you get from those places now and start stocking up on that. Anything you get from Amazon, Walmart, any place big box store, even hardware, home repair, all the stuff you use that's easy to get right now, you might want to buy some extras of all that stuff because China does this. China, starts, even if it's just an embargo and they blockade the island, you're not getting anything just because the trade routes will be affected. So start thinking about that. Moving on from that, we get into Israel. Here we have 4 more confirmed deaths of the hostages in Gaza. I've stated this a few times. I think they're all dead. I don't know if there's any live hostages left. They might just be putting this out slowly. This might be hampering the negotiations as well. And on that note, I told you a few days ago that Biden big announcement that, hey, Israel has agreed to this giant ceasefire and they're going to pull the troops out. Gaza and Hamas are going to take Gaza Strip back over, the Palestinians, or they're going to rule themselves again. And they're going to release all the hostages eventually, even the dead ones, and everything's go back to normal. I'm sure that's what the West wants, and that's what Biden wants. But Israel, I told you, that's not going to happen. They'll never agree to that. And they've come out today saying, you know what? We can give you a 42-day, 6-week ceasefire, but we're not pulling out. We're not stopping the hostilities. And when this is all over, when we get our hostages back, Hamas is not controlling that area. They're not controlling. Either Israel will patrol their soldiers or an international force, but it's not going under self-rule anymore. That's the point of view from Israel. That's kind of what I was thinking, so that's what I told you. So that's, like I said, I think these hostages, unfortunately, probably mostly all dead, unfortunately. And then you got Hezbollah. Massive fires in multiple areas in northern Israel, falling more than 100 rockets fired by Hezbollah into Israel. They've been really stepping up their game. They're hitting radars. They're knocking $1 million drones out of the air. This is Hezbollah. They're firing deep into Israel, in the northern part of Israel, hitting military bases, hitting civilian stuff. So Hezbollah is stepping up their game. So Israel still has that to contend with, meaning the West does as well. And then we have this. This was really interesting. Let me just pull this up so you can see. So this is Berkshire Hathaway. So there was a problem with the stock market this morning. And basically, a lot of stocks lost 99.9% of their value. This is Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett. Their Class A shares were around 627,000 a share. Well, they showed a 99.97% right here loss instantaneously. You can see it drop like that, just hit like a rock. Now, they fixed it and went back to where it should, but this happened not just to them, but a few other stocks were having this issue, and they had to halt the trading. So was this a hack? Was this just a software glitch, update error they call it? Or was it a cyber attack, from a foreign enemy? They're probing, they're seeing what they can do. Because You crash the stock market. That's a huge financial problem for the United States. Yeah, you can imagine what's gonna happen with that, and it's quite possible that could happen. And this shows you how quick things can change. In a moment, you have stock, you have value, then all of a sudden it goes to zero because it got hacked, and now the values are all zero. Everybody's selling. There's panic selling, panic buying, chaos. It just shows you how quick, how on the razor's edge we are of dipping into chaos. Staying normalcy, staying on that track, and then just flipping off and going into straight chaos. It can happen super quick like this. Fortunately, this was just, they haven't said if it was a hack, an attack, a mistake, some programmer did something wrong on an update. But, watch yourself. I don't know how many people out there, if you're, have a lot of stock in the stock market, you might want to think, now, totally not financial advice, but, if this happens, you can lose everything in an instant. So you never want to have everything in one basket. You want to diversify. All that great stuff. And lastly, what I want to talk about before I let you go and get on with your day is we're hearing more and more about the bird flu. I don't have any articles or anything to post for you. I just want to bring it up. You had those chicken farms catching fire. You had the bird flu, 4 million chickens culled and all that. 3 or 4 more people, I think, total now have caught the bird flu. Cows getting it, whatever. They're really going to push this. Remember, it's election year, so it's really getting pushed, by mainstream media coming out. So we've got to keep your eye on the bird flu and what can come with that. We've been through it before, so you should go through your protocols, know what you're going to do, what your reaction is going to be. You're going to be able to tell the signs. I'm going to be out there, I here with you, letting you know what I think. And if it ramps up, we have decisions to be made, and we'll see where we can go from there. But just keep your eye on that. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, or you want me to address something, or you want to put something, write it down in the comments below, and we'll get to it real quick. The community is great about responding. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.